Ever wondered how an entire championship team could just vanish from history, as if it never existed at all? A team that once stood on top of the world, celebrated by thousands, suddenly disappears from every record, every conversation, every memory. No banners, no retired jerseys, no highlight reels, just silence. Today we are diving into one of the strangest and most haunting stories in sports history, a mystery that still leaves fans and historians scratching their heads decades later. Welcome back to Hoop Nexis, the channel where basketball history meets untold mysteries. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind the game we all love, make sure you are subscribed and ready, because today's story is one you will not forget anytime soon. This is the story of a championship team that seemingly disappeared into thin air, leaving behind more questions than answers. Let us take you back to a time when this team was unstoppable. They had everything a championship roster needed: a dominant core of players who moved like a well-oiled machine, a coaching staff that understood the game on a deeper level than most, and a fan base that lived and breathed every single possession. Game after game, they crushed their opponents, building a reputation that spread far beyond their home city. Sports analysts called them a dynasty in the making. Rival teams feared facing them. It felt like nothing could stop their rise to the top. And then it happened. They won the championship. The confetti fell, the arena roared, players hugged each other with tears in their eyes, and for a brief moment, everything felt perfect. It was the kind of moment that should have been remembered forever, immortalized in highlight reels and documentaries. But instead, something strange began to happen almost immediately after. Within months, reports about the team started becoming inconsistent. Some records showed the roster completely intact, while others showed players missing without any transfer or trade explanation. Journalists who had covered the team extensively began noticing gaps in their own archives. Photos that once existed in newspapers seemed harder to locate. Interviews that had been recorded seemingly vanished from broadcasting archives. It was as if someone, or something, was quietly erasing their existence piece by piece. Fans who tried to search for old footage found broken links and missing files. Sports databases that usually kept meticulous records had strange inconsistencies, sometimes listing the championship as vacant, other times attributing it to a completely different team. Even longtime fans who followed the season game by game began doubting their own memories. Did this team actually exist? Did they really win it all? The confusion only grew deeper with time. Some theories suggest a massive administrative error, one so significant that entire seasons of documentation were lost or corrupted during a shift to digital archiving. Sports leagues in earlier decades were not always careful with preserving historical data, and it is entirely possible that clerical mistakes led to this team slipping through the cracks of history. But if that is true, why does there seem to be a deliberate pattern to what disappeared? Why do specific players, specific games, and specific highlights seem to be the ones missing, while everything else remains untouched? Other theories lean into something far more controversial. Some believe the team was involved in a scandal so damaging that league officials decided to scrub their existence from public record entirely. Whispers of gambling controversies, contract violations, or off-court incidents have circulated for years, though nothing concrete has ever been proven. If true, this would mean an entire championship run was erased not by accident, but by design to protect the reputation of the league itself. Then there are the more extreme theories, the kind that spread like wildfire across forums and fan communities. Some fans believe the team's records were manipulated due to a legal dispute involving ownership rights. Others suggest a broadcasting company lost the rights to the footage and quietly let it fade into obscurity rather than dealing with expensive licensing issues. And of course, there are the conspiracy-minded fans who believe there is something even bigger being hidden, something the league does not want the public to fully understand. What makes this mystery even stranger is the reaction, or lack thereof, from the players themselves. Very few former players from this team have spoken publicly about their championship run. Interviews are rare, and when they do happen, answers are vague, almost intentionally avoiding specifics. Some fans have pointed out how strange it is that grown men who once celebrated as champions rarely, if ever, bring up what should be one of the proudest moments of their careers. Is it simply humility? Or are they avoiding a topic that carries more weight than we realize? Local news outlets from that era also seem strangely quiet on the matter. Newspaper archives from the championship celebration show only a handful of articles, an unusually small number for what should have been a massive citywide celebration. Compare this to other championship teams from the same period, where entire front pages were dedicated to celebrations, parades, and player interviews, and the contrast becomes even more suspicious. Over the years, dedicated fans and internet sleuths have tried piecing together the puzzle. Some have scoured old newspaper microfilms, contacted local historians, and even reached out to former team employees, hoping to find someone willing to share the real story. A few have claimed to find fragments of footage online, only for the videos to be taken down almost immediately after gaining attention. Every time someone gets close to uncovering solid evidence, the trail seems to go cold again. This pattern has only fueled more speculation. Was there truly a cover-up? Or is this simply a case of poor record-keeping combined with the natural fading of history over time? Teams rise and fall, players retire, front offices change hands, and sometimes stories genuinely do get lost simply due to neglect rather than intention. Yet the sheer number of inconsistencies surrounding this particular team makes it hard to dismiss entirely as coincidence. What we do know is this: a team once stood at the very top of the basketball world. They fought through an entire season, overcame incredible odds, and secured a championship that should have cemented their place in history forever. And yet today, their story exists mostly in fragments, rumors, and half-remembered details passed down through word of mouth. For a sport that prides itself on celebrating legacy and greatness, this disappearance stands as one of its strangest unsolved mysteries. Maybe one day new evidence will surface. Maybe a forgotten archive will be discovered, or a former player will finally decide to break the silence and reveal what truly happened. Until then, this championship team remains a ghost in basketball history, celebrated once, then seemingly erased from memory almost as quickly as they rose to glory. What do you think really happened to this team? Do you believe it was a simple case of lost records? Or do you think there is a deeper story being hidden from the public? Drop your theories in the comments below. We would love to hear what you think. That wraps up today's deep dive here on Hoop Nexis. If you enjoyed uncovering this mystery with us, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss one of our stories. There are more hidden mysteries in basketball history waiting to be uncovered, and we will keep digging until we find them. Thank you for watching. This has been Hoop Nexis, and we will see you in the next one.